Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Night Live.
Hi guys, happy Thursday Night Live. It's Thursday again.
It is. It is Thursday. It is nighttime, and it is apparently a live stream.
Woo!
We have checked all the fucking boxes.
Yay! We have a wild Bridget tonight.
We do.
Hey.
We may have some more special guests. Who the fuck knows? It's
Literally, yeah. No.
who the fuck knows? It's Scarefest weekend, guys. It is complete chaos, as it usually is every year.
Hey, Renee.
But we may have a couple of people show up eventually. Who knows? Like I said, there is a wild Redmond that might show up, and there is a wild Raymond that might show up, and somewhere in between, we might get one or both, or neither.
Who knows?
Who knows?
We'll find out if you do.
But
Hey, Russell. At times.
but no, all jokes aside, there's launch party tonight, so a couple of people have gone to go and hang out and give a mechanics presence. And there's also really shitty traffic here in Lexington due to some accidents. So hopefully everybody's safe, and they're either having fun where they're at or they're careful coming here.
Yes.
But
As of midnight, it is Scarefest, like officially. Well, technically, as of about 7 o'clock, because the launch party started.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah.
As of 7 o'clock tonight, Scarefest weekend has kicked off.
Fuck yes.
So we're going to be doing some special stuff all weekend. We're going live from the booth. We're going live from the convention, some of the parties. We're going to see if we can get some shout outs from some people. Take your all's questions from the floor. Talk to you guys about the con. Have every intention of, making sure that you guys get a Spirit Mechanics presence. You guys get the experience.
It's a whole thing. It is a thing.
Jeez, it is a thing. But all jokes aside on that, we're going to try and do some cool stuff with and for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I know Brian and Raymond are going to be working out some things. There's going to be some pictures. There's going to be some videos, all kinds of cool shit. We also are going to have a lot of different people live from the floor throughout every convention day. So if there's special events, if there's special contests or different things like that, we'll go live, show you guys what's up. Who knows? There's just so much that goes on.
Yeah.
But we're definitely looking forward to it. If you can, come out, see the show. It's one of, if not the biggest horror and paranormal convention this side of the Mississippi, if not in the entire United States. So come out.
Yeah.
As far as other announcements, we're still getting dates for the November 300 class. We may only be doing one due to how busy November is. We've got a couple of investigations, a couple of things going on. So that being the case, we're going to make sure, get the fuck out. We're going to be...
I was going to say the heat is on, so leave the door open because we don't know what the airflow's like in here.
Cool.
So are we in the heat of the moment?
I guess. So does that mean I get the fresh gift?
I mean,
Lord, I'm so glad we're live right now.
I'm 100% down for that.
Okay.
Give an extra pat or two in certain areas, and we'll call it a game.
On the windpipe.
Cough, cough.
Ain't going to bed. You guys have a good evening.
Feel better.
Feel
Jim.
better.
Yeah. Love you guys.
Love you too, Tyree. So as far as next month goes for the 300s, we're still working on that. It may only be one class.
there's the holiday, and then there's a couple of investigations that we have, and a couple other events that other mechanics are doing. So, who
Who
knows? As soon as we have a date for that, we're going to be doing it. This one, if you guys are interested, drop a comment for us. If you're watching on YouTube, drop a comment for us. Same thing on Facebook. I was thinking, since a lot of people ask us the questions about this so much and so often, I was thinking about doing a 300 series class on entities. So talking about different types of attachments, different levels of entities, going over the most common symptoms, things like that. So if you guys would be interested in that for a 300 class, let us know, and I will get that worked up for you.
Would it be an option for hybrid?
Yeah, absolutely. And so this one should be able to be hybridized pretty easily. I've done this kind of talk before, only with this being a 300 level series, we're actually going to deep dive, and I'm going to show you what certain entities actually feel like. For the most part, this is going to be simulated. So I'm not exposing anybody to anything dangerous or harsh, but it's going to be simulated. So if you guys are interested in that, let us know. We'll do the thing. Also, we are still working on the crystalline energy class. For those who have done our 1 and 200 series, this is the progression of that. So we're working on that. As soon as we have that, we'll let you know. That one is probably not going to be coming until the beginning of next year. Reason being, we need to make sure that we have our shit together, but also the holidays are coming up. So we want to make sure that we don't have an influx of stuff while you guys have your lives inundated with being awesome people with awesome people. So
I already have 2 people interested in your class. Already.
So stay tuned. This one is going to be a $60. It is a 300 level class, and there is going to be a lot of heavy lifting on an energetic scale, but there's going to be a lot of heavy lifting that's going to be concerned with it. Just keep in mind that everything that we charge you guys goes right back into Spirit Mechanics. Spirit Mechanics is brought to you by you, and being honest. So we appreciate everybody who has come out to the classes so far. The Psychic Vampirism class was a huge success. And I know that there's a bunch of you out there that wanted to be here and didn't have the opportunity. We're probably going to be redoing that one the first quarter of next year as well. So you have an opportunity to take it if you haven't taken it already.
I think that about covers us for announcements.
I think so. I hope so.
Sure. We'll have a lot more announcements for y'all after Scarefest, hopefully next weekend. Just as a reminder, the last Thursday of the month is Tarot Night, and that is Halloween.
Well,
Yeah.
it is.
So, just as a reminder, guys, Tarot Night will be the last Thursday of the month. Pop on if you'd like your cards read. There is no charge. You can send stars, and you can get bumped to the top of the list and have the option for all readers. But that'll be in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. And again, stars are literally a tip. Think of it like a gratuity.
Yeah.
We see it as a donation. Every star that you give is only a penny. So when it says, you can donate 200 stars, you're not donating $200. It's $2. That's not me bitching. That's me letting you guys know that you're not going to be out a huge amount of money for giving so many fucking stars.
Plus, it's super cool watching it pop up. It's fun. We appreciate it. So, Vampires and Werewolves.
Vampires and Werewolves.
So,
We have one of those here. But
no, I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But kind of doing one of the the main theme that we've been doing the past couple weeks has been horror versus reality, or our favorite horrors. Tonight, it feels a little bit more applicable to talk the comparison with the touches of what the real ones are like, because yes, you can find them in the wild.
Yeah, absolutely. Lycanthropy and vampirism in varying degrees are 100% real. It's nowhere near what Hollywood would have you believe in some cases, and it's a lot more cool, awesome, and or scary, depending on your viewpoint in some cases. But them's is people too. So,
And they're not glittery.
True.
I mean,
True. Is that your favorite depiction?
Well, sorry, but yeah, the sun hits you and you just sparkle.
I mean, there are days that I feel that way.
Jesus.
It's just you. God.
I mean, when we're talking about reality.
True.
Is that reality?
No.
Well,
I don't know anymore.
what?
You made
can
it just
scoot
for
over.
fun.
Literally. So, excuse
Well,
us.
There's a story behind just walking in that.
There is a chair.
Yes.
You can sit.
No.
No.
You get over here. You come in and disrupt shit. You better get over here. And get
It's a
to the
wild
door.
woman, guys.
So
Welcome.
Just walked in the door.
Yes.
he did
Literally.
actually fresh off the road. So as we said, we had Wild Redmond. You've heard us talk about him. If you haven't met him, this is Redmond. So reason why we call him that, obviously you guys have seen him in the comments. Some of you have seen him on Facebook pages. His name is Brian as well. When we have more than one Brian, we have more than one person named the same thing, we always call them by their last name. And he chose to be the one. So this is Redmond,
Yes.
but we're talking about vampires and werewolves tonight.
Yeah.
And just got into
Twilight.
her favorite depiction, which was Twilight. Tweely.
It's just
Oh,
the
I'm not claiming
sparkles.
that. I mean, but so starting with the vampires on that one, because
So are we going with the Hollywood favorite first?
you know what? Sure.
Let's do that. We'll do the Hollywood favorite in the depictions, and then we'll go into the actual reality of things.
Okay. Everyone's like, oh my god,
Right?
Redmond
Oh,
all over the comments.
Watch
Oh.
it. Look at that sexy beast.
So, favorite werewolf depiction.
Oh no, vampire. We're doing vampire. She started with Tweely, so
You know what? I'm gonna combo it to Van Helsing
okay.
with Hugh Jackman. Absolutely my favorite of both.
It's such a cop out.
Twilight.
I will own that.
It's like one of my favorite movies. Though.
Twilight or
Yeah.
Midnight?
No, Van Helsing is actually one of my favorite movies. But I love the depictions of the vampires and the werewolves in that one.
So which vampires though? Because their depiction, Van Helsing's depiction of Dracula is kind of rough. Kind of rough.
So is the depiction of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but
CGI did not age well.
it did not.
But if we're going with that, the actual harpy versions of the vampires that came up out of the well and shit,
Yes.
those were actually pretty cool in that movie.
I like the shift. I like watching the shit. I think that's cool as shit. But you know. That's just me. But Renee tossed out Underworld, and definitely.
Oh yeah, Kate Beckinsale. Why
Yeah.
not?
Russell said Anne Rice Vampires.
Okay. So which ones?
Yeah.
Because Anne Rice only does vampires, so it's like which ones? Are we going like full Lestat?
Yeah, what Renee tossed out list.
Because that's a big thing.
Lost Boys is fucking fantastic.
Eric Northman from True Blood.
What about you,
I was
Edmund?
wondering when True Blood was going to make it. You want to talk about non-realistic?
Do you like vampire movies?
Sure.
Do you have a favorite?
Not in particular. One I'm most familiar with is Tom Cruise's.
Yeah.
Actually,
How about werewolves? Do you have a favorite werewolf movie? Because if you say Silver Bullet, I'm gonna cackle a little bit.
No, I don't think so.
Fair.
Russell said Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah.
yeah. So going Louis and Lestat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Steve?
As far as vampires,
And werewolves.
vampires and werewolves. Fuck me. So, a couple, at least with vampires, a couple of them that were kind of fun. And this one is actually going to make me sound like an older man than what I feel, but the original Dracula with Bela Lugosi
Yeah.
was actually really good. Bram Stoker's, that's the cliche, but that one was actually pretty decent. Gary Oldman as Dracula was fucking
Yes.
kick ass.
It fucking was.
But Salem's Lot.
Okay.
Oh.
Salem's Lot was probably one of my favorite vampire movies. Just the hokiness and, it was a vampire movie that wasn't supposed to be comical, but also didn't take itself seriously.
Yeah.
So it was able to be fun without being over the top. And I really dug it. Plus, they went for the old school lore
True.
in Salem's Lot, which I always appreciate. As far as werewolves, that one's rough. Werewolves get a really shitty time in movies.
Yeah.
They're never depicted correctly.
No.
Trying to think.
But we're going with favorite.
Oh God. Favorite.
Dracula Until was tossed up by Michelle, and Blood and Chocolate by Renee.
Blood and Chocolate is a good one. Blood and Chocolate was a good one. These are so
Would you like for me to toss out another like vampire movie?
what?
Dracula Dead and Loving It?
Oh yeah, Leslie Nielsen
Yes.
or Vampire in Brooklyn.
Yes.
Eddie Murphy.
Yes.
Yeah, that one was good too. As far as werewolf movies, favorite. Actually, it's Werewolf by Night, which is it's an adaptation, or Wolf by Night, I think is what it's called. But it's an adaptation of a graphic novel. It's a Marvel series,
Gotcha.
but he's literally a werewolf. He goes out and that's his fucking superpowers. He's a werewolf. It's so fucking great because his job is to actually release and help monsters.
Okay, that's fucking cool.
He doesn't beat them up. He doesn't chase them down. He actually stops the people from hunting them and lets them live their lives. As long as they're not harming people, he makes people leave them alone. So he mines the fence in between monsters and humanity. It's really sweet.
That is cool.
Sweet as in natured. You know, it actually is. I mean, it's violent as fuck sometimes
Well,
because, you know, werewolf, but it at the same time, just the concept of it, I thought was really neat. But right now, you can catch it on, no plug, but plug, you can catch it on Disney Plus,
oh, okay, yeah.
and they do a full color and an old school black and white version.
That's neat.
And the old school black and white's in like the old school sepia with the fucking film grain and shit. It's great.
I do gotta say, I am also partial to the Thriller music video.
Hey, you know, technically, technically it does. Technically it counts.
And Blade.
That face.
I might have lost respect. Which Blade?
Specifically the original. 3 was too much. 2 was all right, but the first one was a lot better.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that.
I'm sorry, because like the intro fucking scene where it's just raining blood through the fucking sprinklers is cool as shit, and they're just raving out. That's neat as hell.
I mean, true. So are you looking forward to the new one?
No. No, I'm not. 3 was too much.
Oh no, it's a reboot.
Oh.
The new Blade is actually being involved with the MCU, and they're going to be doing the Midnight Suns eventually.
Okay, that's actually cool.
So it is a new iteration of him.
Then yeah.
Yeah. So
You have another one, Redmond?
No?
He's like, I do not.
so talking about tropes, right? So what's your favorite vampire and werewolf trope? Because we're talking about movies. What is it that draws you to vampires and werewolves and makes them cool to you?
That's not a trope.
It sure is. It sure is, because Twilight was brought up. So it is a hunt.
Sexy. No. I mean, if you're going with Twilight.
They glow in the sun. But
Sparkle dick.
Yes. No.
well, when you fuck in the woods, you don't need a flashlight. So
Same, Patrick. He said his favorite werewolf is Bane.
same. I am partial to Bane.
Twilight.
And okay,
So what makes them fun? Let's look at it that way. If we're talking about werewolf and vampire movies, what makes them fun? What makes you want to watch them?
I think they're cool. I think they're neat. I see a little bit of myself in each movie.
Only a little bit?
Just a sparkly tip.
I mean,
Apparently, this live is pro. You know.
No,
no.
but to be fair, Jacob wasn't actually a werewolf. He was a shapeshifter.
He was a bitch. Anyway, so, but then again, so is a sparkling ass vampire.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me, aren't I scary? No, you look like a kid's reflector. But it's,
Oh my God.
Hot guy, not Edward. He was, yeah. But they are usually very attractive. Make you root for the bad guys in theory, and we love to do that. True, Shay's right about that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anybody else on tropes?
I'm looking at you.
I see you. I don't know. I think the whole like them versus us, like you either have to be team werewolf or team vampire is another reason people kind of watch them, because I might be team vampire, you might be team werewolf. So now we have a beef about it. Yeah.
It's
so to speak.
piece.
Yeah.
What?
Renee said I see traits of myself in them in the allure of immortality.
Cough.
Yeah.
One of the things that
Blade go after Edward.
that'd be hilarious. Actually, I mean, I know that's been done. I'm sure people spoof that, but that's just a funny idea.
Kate Beckinsale is hot.
Kate Beckinsale is hot. Thanks everybody who starts daydreaming about one of the things that I always liked about those kinds of movies is the fact that even though they were quote unquote monsters, they were still given they were humanized.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that werewolves go through pain, they go through a lot of struggle when it is that they full shift. And, you know, the fact that vampires suffer through a constant hunger and a thirst, and most don't want to be a predator. So it's giving, you know, more of a human understanding to these kinds of complications or, in all honesty, things that can be just genetic. You're born with it. But yeah, I always thought that was kind of neat with those. Because I mean, if you're looking at the original Dracula, you know, you're looking at a situation where it's a literal love story.
It is.
You know,
I'm so sorry because what immediately popped in my head when you said born with it was maybe you're born with it, vampirism, maybe it's Maybelline. No, no.
Hey Maybelline, we got you. We got your new campaign over here.
Yeah, but Dracula, the original story it's really beautiful, and it's a really pretty love story.
I mean, it's a Romeo and Juliet kind of thing, but you know, it's the deep down, and you know, people are like, oh fuck, I feel things, and it's creepy.
What are these?
What are those? But you have that, and even the original Wolfman,
Yeah,
you know, and the remake, which everybody gives the remake a lot of hate, but I didn't see that it was all that bad. But dude was in a position where he struggled not to shift and forced himself not to, and secluded himself and tried to stay away from people. And eventually the inevitable happened and he did bad things. But it was that fight to stay human that really kind of made that movie interesting. So yeah, as far as tropes, I think that one's good. So what do you think, Raymond?
I'm still traveling on the road. I haven't settled in yet.
Jet lag.
fair.
So then, what we have in the comments?
The original Wolfman looked more like a gorilla, unfortunately. The comment Sarah said.
Werewolves just trying to be regular dudes.
Just dudes trying to be guys, being bros.
Wolf with Jack Nicholson and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Oh yeah,
Spader.
yeah.
And Sarah said, "My unfortunate addiction is the TV show Being Human."
Oh yeah, okay. Which one, US or UK? There is a difference, by the way.
I
Yeah,
have not seen them.
it's a good show. It's interesting, but you're right. There's a big difference between the US version and the UK version.
There's a big one, a huge damn difference. You can definitely tell that
US.
because the US was geared more towards Western audiences.
It's kind of like the difference between the UK office and the US office.
Also have not seen them.
Fair. I'll figure something out, Bridget.
Ghosts. The show Ghosts.
Yeah.
US and UK version of that.
Yeah.
I've seen those both. So there, yeah.
We found it, guys.
We did
We
it.
found it.
But US better looking characters. Fair enough. I respect it.
Hey, that is the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So as far as real,
so talking vampires, right?
so there's multiple different types. There's 3 different subsets. One is energy vampires, which arguably get the most hate, unfortunately, because they're a natural counterbalance. When really it's the people that typically get the bad rap are the energy vampires. But psychic vampires are ones that typically
Cause the issue.
cause the issue. I'll be honest.
Let's call it what it is.
But they feed on emotion. So kind of similar with the energy vampire, they can take in a specific emotion and get back a different one. So if you're angry, it can be really beneficial. You can also accidentally kind of be an asshole.
I mean,
But there is also blood drinking vampires. So they are real. As far as vampires go, they do actually require those things to survive. So as far as energy vampires, you have to actually eat energy to survive. Otherwise, you'll get really sick. You get really pale. It actually can physically hurt you. Same thing with psychic vampires, except it's emotion. It has to be emotion based. Energy vampires can take in any form of energy. They can literally walk up to a plant and go, hey, can I eat some of your energy? You're a little off balance. And they're like, oh, yeah, sure. And so they can nom on the plant energy. But a psychic vampire would have to, hey, Leaf, can you cry for me? I'll take that's kind of a really shitty example. That's the first one that popped in my head. What? Why a crying leaf? I don't know. But
I mean,
Sarah said there's a few genetic conditions that cause somewhat vampiric traits like extreme anemia and
Gyra? I don't know. Whatever, you can read it.
I apologize because I know I butchered that.
Yeah. I want to suck your leaves.
Everybody can read it.
Yeah, everybody can read it.
Except for me.
Well,
I have to have
We'll
it written to me.
we'll show it to him later.
Patrick goes, I want to suck your leaves.
Well, you're
Have
not
your
living that
building.
one down.
No.
It's a meme official. So, but
Out here building D&D characters with this
Yes. I want to suck your leaves.
a fucking vampire that only drains from plants.
Would that technically?
It's photosynthesis.
Oh my god. Fuck.
I'm a plant.
I mean,
A vampiric druid.
that's actually kind of kick ass.
Anyway, running on that meme train.
Oh my god.
Damn, that tree looking hell I'm gonna actually just toss your comment up here, Sarah, so we can all read it. So I'm gonna call it pork. Pork causes psychosis, explosion of blood, and receding gums. Interesting.
Mhm.
That's a new one on me. That sucks.
That would be terrible.
It's rough.
As far as vampires go, you can also have tendencies as far as the energetic and the psychic vampires go. So typically it's born out of a trauma response as a way to help A, heal yourself, and B, help heal others. So it is possible to have tendencies and not be a full-blown one of the three.
Porphyria.
Porphyria. Oh, one of the King Harry's had it. Or King Henry's, God bless.
Hey, you're supposed to be able to read. Being blind is my shtick.
Ah, fair.
Reading
Fair.
and pronouncing are different things.
That's right.
Yeah.
Fair.
Words are hard.
Words are hard tonight, y'all.
Words are hard.
Not just tonight. Let me be honest.
But do anybody have any specific questions on vampires that they've been wanting to ask and just haven't really had an opportunity to? We went in pretty heavily in depth in the psychic vampire class as far as that specific one of the 3 types goes. So for those of you that couldn't join that one, it's completely all good. It'll be back around in the first quarter of next year. But if anybody has any questions, toss them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. If not, I'll do some research.
Yeah, that is the big thing is, because of mainstream media and everything else, people have this tendency to get the wrong connotation about
Patrick put another comment.
what you did. What's this one?
Better go eat a plant. Your energy is down. Maybe you can read them.
Maybe
Oh,
then I
maybe you
can
can
read.
read then.
Shit. So you're saying, Steve? Oh, God.
But people get the wrong connotation. They get the wrong idea. And it's more than just the typical disorders or diseases. With vampires, those that quote unquote need blood, it is a genetic thing, but it is actual vampirism. They're born with it. Now, does this mean that people are running around in the streets and like snatching people up and feasting on them in alleys? Yes, but bath salts have to be included in that mix. It's not common for that thing to be a thing. Although there are certain communities that actually do condone specific sanctioned offerings.
Well, Sarah said there's a huge hidden subculture of human living vampires.
Uh-huh.
Weird stuff, but they have donors they call swans.
Yep. And that's kind of what I was getting at. I don't know people's sensitivities, so I usually try to leave certain things behind the scenes. That's kind of like an under the counter ask. That you need the special menu for that kind of thing. But now that the cat's out of the bag, there are people that actually bloodlet for vampires. And these people actually do, they get tested. They only eat certain things. They will literally provide the best possible quote unquote meal they can. And is it I'm going to bite into you and do the thing? Sometimes, but not common. Usually it's a pricked finger or, a cut, something like that in the palm or on the finger, something small, but, or full on phlebotomy, giving transfusions, donating blood to the quote unquote cause. It depends on how deep a dive you want to take and how much of a vampire snack you would like to be. But it's a 100% a thing. Most vampires, at least legitimate ones, don't need a whole lot. They need enough to keep themselves going, but they don't need a whole lot. Feasting on a human a night is total fucking myth and legend.
Yeah, that just sounds excessive.
It's
I
a
mean,
lot.
where are you gonna put it? Like, just logistically, where the fuck are you gonna put it? Like, sorry.
In the closet, I guess. wait until it piles up and then just scoop it out with a snow shovel?
How
I
much
don't
do you
know.
get per person?
7 liters, right? Is it 7?
Why are you asking me?
I need to actually Google. I'm just thinking like body to body, like where the fuck you can't.
Not to mention the body. You have to leave that somewhere.
Yeah.
Vertical with a rare plant on top.
Hey, yo, plants.
Anyway, plants is boy.
Grow your leaves.
Feed me say more.
Literally.
Yeah.
I mean,
Your body has 10.5 pints of blood, or about 5 liters.
That was close.
1.3 gallons.
Yeah, that's a lot. But as far as I don't know where I was going with that. Typically what you're gonna find though are Psyvamps or energy vampires. Those are a bit more abundant. I feel like is the best word for that.
and out in the open,
Yeah.
they're commonplace. Especially psychic vampires are fairly commonplace. Energy vampires, at least true ones, are a little bit. They're a little bit more uncommon, but there's still more of them than what you would expect.
Yeah, vamps are snackish.
Snackish.
That's a t-shirt right there.
Vamps are snackish.
I love it.
Sarah also said it's the living cells they require as well as iron, but you can get that from living vegetables and yogurt. See, this is where we loop back to fucking leaves.
It is.
So, werewolves now. We cycle back to leaves. That means that my section is complete.
Your section is complete. Now there is a and I can't remember the actual name, but there is a disease that is a type of werewolfism, quote unquote. It's called werewolf. I think it's actually called werewolf's disease or werewolf disorder or some shit like that. But essentially, what happens is the body actually grows excess hair.
Mm.
And all jokes aside, some dudes are hairy. This is legitimate. You actually grow fur. Now, there's been stories. I don't know if they are true. There's been stories that the people that suffer from that particular condition do have physical maladies and quote unquote improvements as well. So some of their speed or their strength or the dexterity, different things like that may be a little higher than most people's, but not to like superhuman, roid ripped fucking wolf dude out in the middle of the woods howling at the moon. These people actually do have a genetic condition. It is literally a part of how they were born. Now, lycanthropy is real. People can actually be a lycan. There's specific bloodlines that you have to come from in order for that to be a thing. And finding someone that is a pure blood lycan is extremely rare anymore. Most have either, crossed family lines, as in, married into different things like that, had kids. So combine the particular bloodline. So the originals are kind of fucking rare. So what's the reality? Are they going to completely wolf out and become something inhuman? No, that's 100% fantasy in Hollywood. That is not going to happen. At least not to the capacity of growing fucking another foot tall and beefing up and being 8-packed with a bunch of fur. That's just not real. But their bone structure will shift, especially coming close to lunar cycles. Their bone structure will shift. the type of muscle that they do have. If it's lean muscle, it becomes more toned. If it's bulked muscle, it actually becomes more lean. They can actually run a little faster, not like miles an hour, but they can outdo what they typically could. They can endure a lot more pain. They can have, and sometimes they can have an increased strength, but usually it depends on their emotional state at the time. But similar to vampires, they do have a need. Lycanthropy has a specific need, not for flesh, but for hunting. That's the whole wolf instinct. They need to go out and they need to hunt. They need to prey on something. They need to show themselves as not necessarily superior or dominant, but the prowess has to be displayed. There has to be some kind of show of power. So you'll see a lot of people with lycanthropy around the full moon. They'll kind of cock out a bit, or I usually don't do this, but I need to go for a run, or I'm gonna go out and sit in the woods for a little while by myself. It's really interesting watching how that actually happens. The eyes do shift. They'll shift to a specific color, copper or gold or silver or emerald green. And when I say that, I mean vivid Crayola crayon green, depending on which bloodline they come from. And they have a distinct scent. It's horrible to say. Now, this is personal experience. This has nothing to do with actual quote unquote scientific fact, but they either smell like wet dog to me or like a dog that's been laying in the sun all the time. And I know exactly where they are because I can smell them. It's usually not like pungent, I can smell somebody like from across a convention floor, but when I meet somebody and I shake their hand, if I catch that scent, I know exactly. So it's pretty fun, actually.
Something interesting as far as scents go. Typically vampires have much more of a floral scent.
Which is hilarious to me, but they do. That's like across the board.
Yeah.
They do.
And as far as a couple of the different things, an energy vampire can walk in a room and calm the chaos and bring it back to a restored balance. A psychic vampire can walk into a really angry room and bring a ton of peace. It's very interesting to watch vampires work just because there's a lot of possibilities with what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to be very conscious of what you choose to do. Who do you want to be? And that's the big kicker with vampires.
Likewise, lichens are very loyal, even to a fault. They wind up wearing their emotions on their sleeve, but not being able to communicate it very well. More through gesture. And this is going to be a terrible analogy, but similar to a dog cocking its head or wagging its tail or, bringing you something and handing it to you because they want you to pay attention. Different things like that. There's a lot of inferred speech as opposed to actual communication. It's difficult. One of the bigger reasons for that is certain lichens who can't really deal as much with the lunar shift wind up losing control of their emotional state very hard. They spiral very quickly, or will get angry at the drop of a hat, or will go into a really hard manic shift. And at that particular point, it's all in. There's not a, okay, I can be talked down for this, from this, or I can allow myself to see other viewpoints. It's literally, we're going straight ahead. This is how I feel. This is only how I feel. This is the only way I will feel until the shift happens, until that winter shift happens and they start to ease back down into more of a quote unquote human mentality. Because it's primal need. The fight or flight is strong. The primal need is there. But they're excessively loyal. They're very good at making sure that everybody is safe. Even if they don't care for the people that they're around, they'll make sure that they're safe. They're very quick to make sure that they are in the way of danger. That's both a good and a bad thing, depending on the situation. And they're exceptional bloodhounds. No joke intended there. A werewolf, quote unquote, a werewolf, but someone with lycanthropy has a sense that is amazing. They can literally find somebody in a group of 1,000 people, find this person, and they'll walk right to them. They'll catch the scent on the air, especially if you have even something that they carry on their person. Find them. Okay. Their sense of hearing is selective, but with what it is that they're trying to find, that's all they hear. I need you to find this person. They'll catch the voice. Oh, this is where they're at. I'll take you right to them. It's amazing, actually, watching someone with lycanthropy actually do their thing. It's really cool. The other thing, too, at least with both, is both actually have a type of pheromone that does a very particular thing. One goes for more of a charm, so more of an enchantment kind of thing. You could do this for me. It would be all right if you did that. It'd be great if. And anything after that particular push is the next priority on the list for the poor motherfucker that is receiving that from a vampire. Now, as far as the particular pheromone for werewolfism, as much as we're all fucking adults here, it's sex drive. Someone that has been spent and hasn't had a moment outside of handling their own personal business is going to be drawn to a lycan very quickly. And it's very easy through that particular thing to be able to play on that. Lycans get a bad rap too. That's the reason why some of the original bloodlines are gypsies. They get a bad rap because they still do that shit. Some will find a place to stay that way. Some will be able to find, sources of income that way. And I'm not just talking about he-hoing or she-hoing. I'm literally talking about they'll be able to get jobs that way, or sell things, or do certain things, draw certain people to them so that they're noticed in certain ways. It's really interesting to watch the different types of charm that's used between the two. What's really hilarious is watching a vampire and a werewolf try to charm the same motherfucker, because that poor bastard is so confused about his preferences or her preferences, and their particular thought process. It's funny as hell. You get somebody that walks up and you get one on either side and they're like, so hey, what's my name again? I don't remember. Why was I here? Oh, this is the reason. Oh, I need you to do this too. You can really tag team somebody and make their life miserable. But all jokes aside, it's all about, it's like what Pat was saying. It's all about the kind of person that you would like to be. If you have lycanthropy or a form of vampirism, don't be an ass about it. You are who you are what you are. Use it for good things.
It's possible to choose to be a good person. Catching up on some comments. Let's go on. So Sarah mentioned, I think it's
Therianthropes.
being a thing, more of an instinctive person rather than intellectual,
Mm-hmm.
and an adrenalized state of being chaotic but loyal and protective as far as lichens. Yeah. And Terry asked, wait, can someone have both lycanthropy and vampirism at the same time?
Technically,
Or did she mean good and bad at the same time? I'm not sure when she posted that.
yeah, I'm not sure either. Technically, someone can present with both traits. I mean, if you have vampirism that runs in one side of the family and werewolfism or lycanthropy on the other side, obviously you're going to have some kind of traits from both. Usually, if someone is of that kind of bloodline, you're going to find that if you have both, one is more recessive. You're going to have a dominant either lycanthropy or vampirism with an underlying recessive trait of the other, which makes for interesting makeup of people. I've worked with multiple vampires, multiple lycans over the years that I've done what I do, and not one has been the same. And I find that actually fascinating. The alchemist in me is like, neat science. And goes, that's a weird biology. I need to study that. And some people appreciate that, not a lot of people do. So, thank God for the ones that actually let me. But again, these are nowhere near what it is that Hollywood makes it out to be. It's fun to fantasize and it's fun to, go to the extreme to be scared or to get that rush or to enjoy a kink, whatever the situation might be. But at the end of the day, lycanthropes and vampires are people too. They have to live their lives. They have to go to work. They have to take care of themselves. They do the same things that you do. They're just not completely quote unquote human. They're a little bit of something else. It's either a boof boof or a squeaks in the night.
One more time.
It's either a boof boof or a squeaks in the night. So
Oh my God.
how do I know that a friend of mine is a vampire? Scream until I find you. They echolocate for me.
Yeah.
Usually, because that was a joke that actually got started. She'll actually start a game of Marco Polo. If we're out in the middle of things, no shame.
Nope.
Marco! And I'm like across a fucking room or
Yeah.
in the store or whatever. And I'm like, oh, there she is. Polo. But that's the reason, making bat jokes because echolocation. But
I do that with no fucking shame. Look.
It doesn't matter much.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of the scarecrow floor.
Yeah, we literally did that earlier.
Yep.
Margot, Polo, I'm right here. I got it. But putting it into perspective, Patricia is, more of a vampire, obviously. So certain tendencies, but it's the way that and I can only talk for myself, but with the visual disability that I have, it's interesting seeing how I'm treated and handled. So with her, it's a vocal thing or it's a mental thing. So it's a telepathic thing. So Steve, this is where I'm at. This is what I need. Or Steve, where are you at? Are you okay? And it's an instant, here's the emotion for it. No, I'm not. Or yeah, I'm cool. And there's that sent back of, okay, I'll be right there. Or cool, I just needed to know. And then it's a vocal thing most of the time, as far as I'm over here, I'm talking to you so you know where I'm at. We're having this conversation for multiple reasons out loud. Whereas with Raymond, it's a feeling. He'll show up out of fucking nowhere. Yeah, you called? Actually, I was about to. Or it'll be a thing of, because I've done this only once, I've done this before. Actually, it was last year during Scarefest. I had a moment where I literally got lost in the crowd. There were so many people that I couldn't echolocate. I got stuck. And here's Raymond out of nowhere. I was looking for you. Found you.
Mhm.
And then there's the times of when we're getting around with Raymond, it's more about him moving. It's about that need to be physical with the situation. So he'll smack his rings together so I can echolocate by it. It's really neat, actually. Those kinds of social experiments and case studies and shit just fascinate me because the small things just really stick out.
Whereas I prefer to use my nails.
Yep. It works. But notice the difference. It's for him, it's the movement and it's I'm affecting something, whereas hers, it's popping the claws. More subtle. It's just really neat, watching different people with different things do awesome shit. It's just really cool. What we have for comments, we got any good ones?
Yeah, Sarah said they're all just people with different truths and needs.
That's it?
Yep.
They are just dudes being guys, acting like bros.
Asking leaves how they feel.
God.
I
I can't believe that was the first fucking thing I came up with.
That's gonna leave for some sip,
Bleeding weird.
Bleeding weed.
Sounds like some kind of new
All the
drink.
time.
True they do.
Shit.
Well, y'all got anything else? Any closing statements or things that you would like to talk about?
If you have questions on whether, like, if you are a type of vampire and you have tendencies, or you're concerned about that, you are more than welcome to reach out. You can message us on Facebook. You can find us here. We don't mind talking to you about it.
Because let's be brutally honest. We're doing this for a quick live stream. It's spooky season. We're doing this kind of thing. These are conditions that are real. And if you need help with that, like Patricia said, all you have to do is get a hold of us. This is well broad as far as what we've been talking about tonight. We hit bullet points at best, but we can go as in-depth as you'd like. We already have a psychic vampirism class. If you guys are interested in others in the quote unquote vampire vein or the lycanthrope vein, we can actually do that for you guys. If you would just like discussions, let us know. We might be able to hook something up in our Discord.
Yeah.
We have it. We might as well use it, right? So you don't have to, if you do, you don't have to suffer with it alone. You don't have to be alone because of what it is that you are. And there are ways to live a happy and healthy life, regardless of who you are. So we don't mind to help with that if we can.
So.
Otherwise, this weekend, head out to Scarefest. Tomorrow, Friday, it'll be 4 to 9 p.m., Saturday, 11 to 8, and Sunday, 11 to 5. And it's in Lexington at the Central Bank Center. So come check it out.
Yep. If you're VIP, you get an hour early, so you can
That's
come in. Also, tomorrow is Hero Day. So Hero Day is awesome. There are special benefits for civil service as well as military service. And I think with nursing, fire, rescue, law enforcement, corrections, I think all of those have to be current. Of course, if you are serving and if you are a veteran. Now, all of that should be explained. You can go to, I think it's scarefestweekend.com. You can go there and see all the details just in case I missed something. But Hero Day is literally Hero Day. That's what it's for, is for you guys. So there are special benefits for you coming into the con. Saturday is the big day. That one is where you get your photo ops. That one's where you get your cosplayers, usually hard and heavy. It's where a lot of the on the floor events happen. And then Sunday is Kids Day. So it's all about the children's. I remember when I was a children.
Just yesterday.
It was just yesterday.
Yeah.
It was earlier today because I was born yesterday.
Yeah.
But it is for the kids, 100%. That's where everything is toned down a little bit, so it's not as rough as far as the horror aspects. And there's a bunch of contests for the kids, different like cosplay contests and
Costumes.
the Scream contest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they do an adult one and they do a kid version where your best scary movie Scream, and there are prizes for that. Also, if you walk around, I think they're still doing the It balloons this year. Basically, if you see an It balloon on somebody's booth, they have candy. So there is literally a trick or treat that Scarefest does for the kids every year. And you can come around, let the kid get sugared up on a weird convention floor, and hopefully they'll be asleep by the time you get home.
And Renee, I saw your comment earlier. Liv will be there on Sunday. I'll get you some pictures. She'll be the nun this year.
Nice. I dig it.
I got to meet the nun.
Oh, the real nun. What? Don't tell Liv.
Oh,
That's her favorite movie.
on that note.
Liv, if you're watching this, you better be in bed.
But stay tuned for the stuff that we have going starting tomorrow afternoon. We're going to start throwing pictures up both on our Facebook, probably our Twitter, and we're going to be doing some TikToks. We're going to be doing some live streams, and we're going to have some stuff circulating on the Scarefest fan page and different things like that too. So we're going to be working for y'all this weekend. Come out and see us, see a bunch of awesome other people. There's a row of tattoo artists if you're wanting ink. There are plenty of let's call it what it is, spectacles that are going to be going down, different displays and photo ops, as well as some interesting artifacts from old movies. Certain cars are going to be there. Certain objects are going to be there.
And they have a film festival.
They do.
Big Stranger Things set up.
Yep.
And the amazing group of vendors that are there. You can really find about anything horror related that you would like to find.
Everything from paranormal to metaphysics to full fantasy and cosplay gear to music. There's so much. And you even get some of that with the Stars Row as well. This year, Matthew Lillard's there. For those who are 13 Ghosts or Scooby-Doo fans, you know, or Scream fans, Matthew Lillard's there. Clive Barker, the master himself, is going to be there this year. It's going to be fucking nuts as a result of that, because they just released that. There are artifacts from his movies and old displays that he is going to actually have on the Scarefest floor with him.
That's
So
so cool.
you get the opportunity to actually be a part of actual living history if you go and spend time at Clive's booth. Good fucking luck, but he found it in his own museum, in his own warehouse, and was like, yeah, fuck it, let's take it. So they brought these artifacts to Scarefest. So there's going to be a lot of cool shit for you guys to see and do. Of course, there's the after hours stuff. Tonight is the launch party. It is at Lex Live. It's probably still fucking going. If you want to go and check it out, go have some fun. They're doing horror movie trivia. Tomorrow night is karaoke. Obviously, it's karaoke night, but it's karaoke. And Saturday is going to be at Manchester Music Hall, and it's going to be the VIP party. So there's so much shit to do. Hopefully, those of you that have tickets, you're going to have some fun. Those of you that don't and are in the area or feel like making the drive, come see everybody. It's going to be a cool weekend. Anything else?
Love y'all. Have a good night.